Welcome! This is going to be my lightning round of brand new favorite quality of life features that's in DaVinci Resolve 21, like what they do and where you can actually find them so you can start playing with them right away. Render Magic Mask in place on the color page with the 3-dot option menu. This bakes out ProRes clips and attaches them as an EXT mat. It's perfect, no more retracking Magic Mask. Spell check for text. Now you're going to find this both in the property inspector and clicking on the viewer. There's a new curvy underlined markup that's going to suggest a spelling fix. Just right click on the underlined word to accept a fix. We also have a new font browser. So in the inspector for a title, just to the right of the font family, there's a new font browser icon to expand, and you'll see a new window pop up so you can preview installed font or mark them as a favorite to appear in the favorites list. Background renders and tasks. In System Preferences, you'll find options down under the new Background Tasks category to enable background renders, which is going to include rendering from the Deliver page and then continue to still work on that same computer in Resolve. It's awesome. Also, you can run the AI transcriptions or proxy generation with the new task options there in the background as well. So when the tasks are running, you'll notice in the lower right, there's a new process interface to view what's going on in the background. Affinity file support with layers. So in the free photo editing and design software Affinity, you can save the native AF file, load it into the media pool, place it on a timeline, and right-click to split layers in place. Oh, and save changes in Affinity, update immediately to the timeline. Speaking of layers, how about the updated Keyframe panel supports multiple selected layered clips? This is perfect when you want to line up animation keyframes across different video tracks at the same time, as well as the retime curves have Bezier controls for speed ramping. Hide edit page tracks. Open the index in the upper left of the edit page, go down and click tracks, and you can save screen space by clicking the eyeball icon to shy away the track. Now, don't worry, it's actually still there and the composite result is in the viewer. It just helps when you don't have enough screen resolution. The Fairlight page has another screen space saving trick that's called Fairlight folder tracks. Create a folder track by selecting multiple tracks on the left side header, right click and choose Add Tracks to New Folder. It's kind of like a compound clip, but I think it's actually better because you can just toggle it open, see everything, or you can drag the nested clips back out to get back to ground zero. Mono clips, when they're on stereo tracks, are going to evenly play out both of your headphones at the same time or speakers. Like how to make a time of day sync map instead of just assuming you wanted to sound out only the left channel. Source timelines now show the blue destination patches, so this is my favorite. In the left source viewer, when you click in the timeline view for the upper left, or you can use the hotkey to get there, it's Option or Alt Q, that basically lets you see the full unedited clip or timeline in the full timeline panel. The blue source patches reflect exactly what's going to be edited across to the right orange record program timeline side. If you disable it here on the source side, it won't make it to the other side. So it's just really clear to see what's happening. I think the editing tools just keep getting better and better in Resolve. Tabbed bins. Right click on any bin to open it as a new tab, or faster yet, you can use the hotkey Command T to create a new tab or Command W to close a tab. It's just like you're browsing the web. If you search the keyboard customization area, you can assign next and previous tabs like I did using the tab and shift tab keys for even faster navigation across all your media pool. Oh, and let's say you have a music bin and you always want to view the music as a list. In the top media pool toolbar, change it to list view, and then you can right click in the bin to choose always open in list view. Another super useful new feature is in thumbnail view, you can click the 3-dot option menu to export as PDF so you can print out an overview of the frame view of all the clips in your bin. Set project poster frame. You can now force the project manager thumbnail images. To do this, in the media pool, drag the cursor over a frame of a clip in thumbnail view and right click. Go to Clip Operations and choose Set Project Poster Frame. The last 5 you do this way is what's used in the project manager. Deliver page upgrades. Now, this is beyond the fact that we can render in the background. In the lower left, you'll see file size estimations. That's new. There's a new H.265 codec option for main concept, which previously was like a high-end paid plugin for better encoding, and now it's just included. Also, color managed timelines or projects can render with different output color settings. Remote grades in Source Viewer. Now this feature is especially useful if you do your own color management using nodes instead of the timeline or project level color management, meaning you're gonna not have to look at log footage in the source viewer anymore. Now the way to set this up, under project settings, go to general options tab, look at the color section, and I suggest you uncheck use local versions for new clips in timeline. This is going to default all your new timelines to using what's called remote versions for the color page grades. Now, remote versions or grades have absolutely nothing to do with footage being like at an office and then you working from home. Instead, remote grades automatically apply the grade to all instances of the same file in the same project. So if you place a grade on one clip on a timeline now, not only is that grade going to be visible on the same clip in the source viewer, if you do a match frame edit, which is really what the new feature does and is amazing, it's also going to be pre-graded. So when it lands on any new social media aspect timeline in the same project, it's already done and it's linked. Select transitions. From the timeline drop-down menu, choose select transitions, and it's just a quick way to modify existing transitions on clips. Maybe you want to make them longer, change the type, or just to easily delete them. Remove clip color, flags, and marker attributes. Now, this is a new option when you right-click to remove attributes, which is a way to clean up the timelines. Personally, I'm going to use this a lot when I want to select only the audio segments to remove redundant markers to make my timeline navigation faster. Because when you place a clip marker, it generally goes to the video track and all the audio tracks. I just want it on the video track. Reset to original audio configuration. Now this is a new right-click option on media pool clips, and it's going to allow you to sort of just reset any sort of custom dual system syncing or channel mapping that you've done in the clip attributes audio tab, so they go back to the original embedded settings when you first imported it. New data burn-in window. Under the top menu, go to Workspace, down to Data Burn-in, and we have a whole new window of options in DaVinci Resolve 21. The data burn-in window overlays information on the timeline footage, which is really useful if you need to pass metadata visually out in your rendered footage. Things like source timecode. Now, I like the placement presets to pin to the corners. Pro tip here is under the options menu, you want to uncheck gang render text styles so you can freely align things to the corners left or right. Unfortunately, this tool is still unable to show source timecodes for like multiple video tracks at the same time. What it does is it displays the uppermost clip that's visible. I personally would really love to see this one updated to include layer support. Multicam updates. There's 3 new helpful changes to Multicam on the edit page. When you right-click to create a multicam from the media pool, there's a new checkbox that says use full clip extents. Now, this will just ignore any of those in and out marks. It's going to give you every single frame that you have in the sources. And then there's also a new multicam audio option that's called all angles. So all angles will include all audio tracks from all cameras individually. So if you have a camera that has 2 channels of sound on one, maybe another camera has 4 channels of sound, the multicam is going to show and use all 6 for easier edit page mixing and cutting. The last really important multicam update allows you to use the Q hotkey on the keyboard to show the multi-view not just in the left source viewer like we've seen forever, but also out any clean feed or Blackmagic I/O box, so everyone in the room can see all the angle options in a large room, kind of like a live switcher. Fusion Node Remote Monitoring. Under Workspaces, down to Remote Monitoring, which is basically the way you stream your timeline out over Blackmagic Cloud over the internet, or you could do this across your internal network. You can now send a Fusion page node to this stream without having to worry about previewing it by going back to the edit page. After you start the stream on the Fusion node, you'll see a third little circle dot there. Hit that 3 on the keyboard and it will send it out just like you're sending it to a different viewer. Compare with timeline backups. In the media pool, right-click on a timeline and choose Compare with Timeline Backup. This is a stacked view with a previous state of the edit, the older ones on top. So you choose a timeline backup from the top drop-down list so you can compare against. Again, the top is the backup. Think source timeline with the blue playhead. The bottom is the current timeline. Think program, the right side with the orange playhead. Now, if you want to accept the older timeline segments from the top, all you need to do is right-click to accept. Transcriptions column in the list view. So just right click the column header to customize columns and search to include the word transcription. And this is going to allow you to preview any transcribed audio without necessarily having to open up the transcribe window for text-based editing. Batch change timeline audio channels. So now you can select multiple clips on a timeline and right click to pick a different embedded or linked audio channel. Also, if you shrink the track heights with shift scroll wheel to make them real short, you'll see the track names on audio have a nice darker fill, which makes them easier to read when they're tiny. You can actually turn this off if you don't like that, if you don't want to see those clip names, by looking at the top left timeline toolbar menu option for display clip names. Picture-in-picture effect. This is included as a face cam style effect that I probably use for tutorials where you put the face down in the corner. It's in the Resolve Effects Filters section, but honestly the fastest way to use it is just to select a clip, hit Shift Space, and then type picture-in-picture. It defaults to the lower right with rounded corners, but you can adjust this as much as you want. You can even make it a round circle in the inspector controls. Krokodove motion graphics. Now, if you've ever felt advanced motion graphics are lacking in Resolve or in Fusion, I don't think you're going to be after you spend time to learn Krokodove. This has actually been available in the past from the Reactor package manager, but now it's integrated. I honestly have no clue how to use it, so I'm not going to pretend that I do today, but it makes me excited to learn a whole new motion graphics design toolset in the Fusion page this year. Analyze word timing. In the inspector, you can now fix adjusted caption timing for word highlight style captions. First, just edit the clip segments like you would a normal title on your subtitle track, then analyze with the new button to analyze word timing. Or you could actually adjust an entire timeline at once in the track header. Right-click the subtitle track header to synchronize word timings. Color page updates. The color page node graph has a new list view. In the upper right corner, you can click to view the nodes as a stack of changes instead if you want to see them as a list. There's also version support for groups. 4 more node stacks for complex grades. That gives you 8 node stack layers if you want to turn that on. There's the new Multimaster trim manager that's found under the color menu, which is for doing final passes on top of a master for like a new deliverable. And of course, we have the brand new photo page to organize and grade your photos like film, which I have a dedicated quick start video on screen right now. Or if you'd rather learn the new AI tools in DaVinci Resolve 21, that's there too. My name is Chadwick. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you over in that video.